Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and in this video we're going to be reviewing to Once Upon a Time in Wonderland, Season 1, Episode 3, Forget Me Not. This episode was huge. There was so much that happened, so much was revealed in this episode, and definitely a lot that's going to affect us, in the other episodes, so I really like this episode, especially the past. We found a lot more about the Knave and his past. First of all, we found out that the Knave's real name is Will, so they're not going to refer to him as a Knave anymore, they're going to refer to him as Will. So yeah, I think that was, very interesting that we found out his name was Will. Basically, this episode starts off with, we go to Will's past, and it's a few years ago in the Enchanted Forest, and two people are driving a carriage with horses upon a group of men on the road, one lying on the ground with an injured leg, and it turns out that the men go to assist the group, and a mysterious figure drops out of the trees and into the cargo of the carriage, stealing the luggage inside, and we basically learn that the figure is Will, the Knave, and apparently hanging out with Robin Hood and his merry band of men was one activity he got involved in his secretive past. So that was definitely very interesting to see, especially with Robin Hood, because we did see Robin Hood on Once Upon a Time, and this is eventually going to cross over to Once Upon a Time. I heard eventually this is all going to connect to Once Upon a Time, so somehow we're going to get there, and I can't wait to see what happens. So, then in the present day, Alice reads a wanted poster of Will, listing his many transgressions. They are on the hunt for the genie's bottle, and Will comes up with a plan that they must find Forget-Me-Not, an enchanted piece of rope that, when tied together with a lasso, will show you the last thing that happened in a particular place. I thought that was very interesting because, I mean, the Forget-Me-Not is definitely something very interesting. It's something really cool, and definitely something that I think is going to give some very big twists. We got a very big twist from the Forget-Me-Not in this episode. And basically, the problem is in obtaining the rope, but Alice is sure they can face any obstacle. So that's basically what's going on there. And then elsewhere in Jafar's dungeon, he and the Queen's new plan is to force Alice to make one of her wishes. They taunt Cyrus over a table of food. Jafar saying they can't wait to see his face when Alice makes a wish, but Cyrus trusts that Alice won't betray him. His faith in her is definitely inspiring, I think. It was definitely great to see Cyrus, like, in that cage and everything. You see he truly does love Alice and will do anything he can to get back to her. And then we go to this place called the Underland. The Underland is very, very creepy. Definitely, this was a very good episode right before Halloween, because they're not on next week, but before Halloween, this was definitely a creepy episode. So in their quest for the Forget-Me-Not, Alice and Will enter the Underland, which I said is very creepy. Not creepy as in scary, but just creepy as in, creepy. Will is familiar with this and is filled with a manner of unsavory folk, but the most important character is the Caterpillar, who is now voiced by Iggy Pop. This is not like the Cheshire Cat we saw. This is the Caterpillar, and Iggy Pop did a really great job, I think, with this role. He was very good in this role, very like sly and everything, and he was smoking a cigarette and everything. I really liked his role in this. Basically, Will tells him he wants to make a deal, and the Caterpillar doesn't take Will's new deal, which conceives Alice that he doesn't have the knot. He's selfish, he would have taken the deal if he could have, so the Caterpillar agrees to a new deal if he tells him where it is, and basically, Alice will get the Forget-Me-Not. Will's debt to the Caterpillar must be erased. He agrees, and after he threatens them a bit more, they're off to another adventure in Wonderland. So then we get to the big question of this episode in the past is, who is Will's love? So in the past, Will is initiated as the newest member of Robin's band, and after the ceremony, when Robin suggests they leave at dawn, Will has a different idea that they should rob a near castle of all its gold, enough to take care of a lot of people for many years to come. This appeals to Robin's love of giving to those in need, but he doesn't want to get mixed up in any magic shenanigans, and they agree that nothing else will be taken. Will goes home after this discussion, and there he greets a woman in bed. Now, we don't know who this woman is, we don't see her face or anything, but it's probably Anastasia. We don't know who Anastasia is yet, though. So then we see that Jafar and the Red Queen are coming up with the perfect creature to scare Alice and thinking she will lose Cyrus and make her use a wish, a Bandersnatch, a creature that she faced as a child that almost killed her, and Cyrus appears concerned during their conversation, which proves to them that they have the right choice. Alice and Will fall into a hidden trap when they reach the house of Grendel, where the Caterpillar sent them. They wake up in a kitchen and it looks like they're going to be Grendel's next meal. So Grendel is a Bandersnatch. While they're there, though, Grendel sits at this table and looks into the very same forget-me-not they are looking for, and he watches a scene that turns out to be him and his lost love. Now, this was very creepy. The whole Grendel thing was very creepy, definitely. Probably the creepiest scene that's been on here. Definitely Once Upon a Time Wonderland is definitely darker than Once Upon a Time. It is definitely much darker. Will realizes who the woman was to Grendel, saying, "The way you look is how I feel." And the writers have created an interesting parallel between the two characters. We don't see who the woman is, though. When Will and Alice finally do break free, they're confronted with the Bandersnatch that Jafar sent after them outside. They manage to trick it into putting its head through the knot, then capture it long enough for Will to stab it. So that was definitely a very big thing. Now, Grendel is grateful to them for saving him, but sad when he finds the fight change the last scene, shown through the forget-me-not. But it's time for him to move on. He tells them to take the enchanted item, and they leave. So they basically got Grendel, but they are not done with Grendel yet. So elsewhere, Jafar and the Queen listened, and the Queen assumed Alice used one of her wishes. But Jafar knew this isn't the case, and they pay Grendel a visit. So they lure Grendel into giving them information on who killed the creature with the promise of reuniting him with his wife. But in the end, they kill him to fulfill their end of the bargain instead of bringing her back. And that's basically instead of bringing her back. So they just killed Grendel, and they forced him into making a deal with them, and they just killed him. Definitely, these two, they're very evil and everything. I thought that was a very big scene because I did not know what they were going to do with him. I didn't think they were going to kill him, but they killed him. I thought, honestly, we were going to see more of Grendel and that he was going to be, a big obstacle for them in, the next 2 episodes, but that didn't happen. They killed him, so he's dead now, so they can't do anything about that. So, then we get to the 3 biggest scenes of the episode, I'd say. Definitely, the 3 biggest scenes. I mean the 2 biggest scenes, but before this we have Robin and his men did break into the castle, Will's suggestion, but he took more than just gold. He stole a looking glass as well. We don't know why he stole this looking glass, why he has the looking glass, what it's for and everything. And after the robbery, they're all gathered around admiring the gold, and a voice comes out of the woods, warning them to return it. It will only bring them misery. But foolish Will doesn't listen to this warning, and he leaves Robin and his men and brings the looking glass back to the woman waiting for him at home. So, shortly after this, we're going to find out who it is, but before this, we see it back in the present. Will and Alice look through the forget-me-not at the site of the bottle's burial and discover the rabbit's betrayal. After this, Will decides not to give the item to the caterpillar after all, and he burns it. This was probably the biggest scene. The rabbit betrayed them. And he took the bottle, and that was just a huge thing that the rabbit took the bottle from them. Now, am I surprised? No, because we know the rabbit had, alliance, had his full allegiance to the Queen and Jafar. So, but honestly, I don't understand why he is with them when it looks like he was friends with Alice and Will. I don't know why he did that, but we'll just have to see. It's definitely going to be very interesting to see what happens. So, it's definitely a big turning point for Will and his redemption, and I'm definitely excited to see what else is going to happen here. And then we get the biggest scene of the episode. This was like a jaw-dropping scene. We see Will's past, and we see him say Anastasia and everything, and in comes the Red Queen. Anastasia was the Red Queen before she was royal and everything, and that's basically what we saw. He brings her a looking glass and throws it into the ground to create a portal for them to take them far away, and he asks her where they're going, and it's a place, and it's Wonderland. That's where they're going. So, 2 things here we need to talk about before I end this review. 2 things I want to talk about. 1, why did the rabbit betray them? What was the main reason for it? Why is he with the Red Queen and Jafar? Because the White Rabbit has always seemed like a character who's stayed with Alice and everything. I don't know what they're going to do with this character, but it's definitely going to be very interesting. The other thing, we have to figure out why did, what happened with the Red Queen and Will? Why are they no longer together? What happened with them? We'll definitely have to see what else happens. And I really like this episode. That was really great. Also, the caterpillar played by Iggy Pop, as I said, was fantastic. Let me know if you guys saw this episode. What is going to happen with Anastasia and Will? What do you think happened to them in the past that made them not, like each other now? What else do you think is we know she broke his heart, but why did she break his heart? And why did the rabbit take that bottle from them? Why do you think that happened? That's it for this review. Hope you enjoyed. Once Upon a Time Wonderland is not on next week, unfortunately, but I'll see you guys in the next video. Okay, bye.